Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. This is the reading for October for the sign of Pisces. You can have Pisces anywhere in your chart. You can be a cross watcher. All that I ask is that if you're here watching this message, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Okay, Pisces, when I was getting into your energy, I felt it very, very physically, and not in a bad way. It wasn't like my body hurt or anything. I could just feel the energy. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. So yeah, a lot of physical energy. I could feel physical energy. And then I started receiving a message, and it started off as a message for me, but they also said it was a message for the collective, and that includes Pisces. And I do have a lot of Pisces in my chart, so maybe that's why it was a message like for both. And so the message they were giving me was actually, it started off as they started making me recall the video I did for Scorpio. I think it was mid-month September, maybe September, I'm not sure, but it was called Earth Angel. And they were specifically pointing out, like, when we are called to be here to help others, to guide others, like, being a tarot reader is kind of like that, or anything that you do to help others. You can be a psychologist, you can be a parent, whatever it is that you do to help others is how you can be an earth angel. And what they were pointing out specifically about it was that it is a thankless job, and that's okay when we choose to do things for people with no expectations. That's where growth happens for us and for them, and it makes the world a better place, is when we put those intentions behind our actions, and we act with intention instead of reacting. Let's see here. And they said that when you do that, when you act with intention, you are doing the right thing. When you choose, and it's not letting people walk all over you. That's not what they want from you. They just want us to want better for ourselves and for others, but when we decide to help people, we have to make sure that our own cup is filled first, right? You cannot pour from an empty cup. So that is why self-love is also very, very important. But when you're out there helping the world, it could just be one person, it could be hundreds of people. When we're out there helping the world, the intention behind it is of the utmost importance. And then they started pointing out, it's kind of like a different aspect here. They pointed out that if you're feeling like you're in a lull right now, where you're just like, you're wanting to do good things, but you don't feel up for it, that's kind of like that cup. Your cup isn't quite all the way full. And so it's okay to have those lulls. And they wanted me to point out, because this is very true for me, because like I said, it started off as a message for me, and then they wanted me to share it with the collective, the Pisces collective. I know in my past, when I would hit a lull, like say something would happen, or something would trigger me, or something would happen in my personal life that would make me kind of go into a lull. Those lulls would last for years and years and years. And now I'm finding that my lulls are getting shorter, where I don't need as much recovery time for things. And it went from years to months, and now it's weeks or even days sometimes. And I think they just want me to point out that is possibly true for you too. And for different aspects of your life, it's going to be different. You know, maybe career-wise, your lull will last, you know, however long years, and now it's gotten better to months or days even. But then in emotional states, it lasts a little bit longer or it's shorter. Each area of our life is going to be a little different, and it's okay just as long as you give yourself that time and you reflect on it. You take the time to reflect. You know, it used to be years for me because I wasn't spending that time reflecting. I was spending the time kind of, you know, feeling sorry for myself, for the lack of a better term. And so, yeah, they wanted me to point that out. Like, take note of those things. Take note of if your recovery time has gotten better. How do you utilize the recovery time? Okay. Now, they want me to start with the literary witches. Literary witches. And I know you're a water sign, but I am getting really strong water energy because they called the Scorpio reading up, which, you know, Scorpio is another water sign. But yeah, maybe you're really in your water energy right now. I saw the pond when I said water. This is energy for Pisces, please. Energy for Pisces in October. The energy for Pisces, please, in October. Okay, so we have the rabbit here on the bottom. You know, the rabbit is about forward movement, but to me, this rabbit looks like its paws, its front paws, or actually all of its paws. They look tied together to me. Do you see that? So it's like, I'm almost getting like a hanged man vibe here, because they're looking off into the distance. Like, what are they looking at? They're looking at what they want, but they feel hung up. Okay, so let's see here. You have Emily Bronte, Fantasy. And I'm going to Google how to say her name because I don't want to mispronounce it. So just give me a second. Okay, so it's Fora Farrokhzad is how you pronounce her name. And she has rebellion. I do like to read their little bio or their little bios in the book here. So let me. Bronte. Dwelling, indulging, hiding in fantasy. I'm really noticing all those ants that are on her card. And then the way that she is over the house like that. Okay. Spent her uneventful life at the family home on the moors. She created fantasy worlds with her brilliant sisters, brushed the carpet, and took walks in the hills. After her death of tuberculosis at the age of 30, she achieved posthumous fame for Wuthering Heights, a vicious novel of romance between two isolated, stormy characters, Catherine and Heathcliff. Okay. It's like her life was so ordinary. She lived in a fantasy world. Maybe that's something that you also do, or like, I'm getting like a writer. Something about being a writer. Because it helps you escape your what you perceive to be a mundane life, right? Farrokhzad wrote sensual, nature-rich poetry, placing her among Iran's greatest poets, heavily criticized for resisting societal norms. Farrokhzad divorced at 21 years old was the first Persian poet to write explicitly about sexuality. Worked as a documentary filmmaker. The House is Black was one of her films. And adopted a son from a leper colony. Some believe that she prophesied her accidental early death in a car crash in the poem Let Us Believe in the Beginning of the Cold Season. Let us believe in the beginning of the cold season. That's where we're at. We're at the beginning of the cold season. Let us believe. So maybe there's something that you are supposed to believe, some fantasy of yours that you're supposed to believe. Your life doesn't have to be mundane. You don't have to get in line. You don't have to march to other people's orders. You don't have to live in fantasy. It's believing. Let us believe in the beginning of the cold season. I love that. This could be two people. I just feel like it's two aspects of your personality, though. That's what it feels like. Because she's inside this, like, I don't know what it's. She can easily escape it. She can easily rebel, right? And she's looking at her. Do you see how she's looking at her? It's almost like in an envious way. Maybe there is someone, maybe this is you, and you see someone that you wish that you could live a life like they did, or someone is seeing you that way. But it could be two aspects of your own personality, but I am starting to see it as two different people because of the way that she's looking at her. And this woman she's not even noticing that someone's looking at her. Okay. I think I might read it as two different energies. We'll see what the tarot says. Oh, rabbit. I did want to look at rabbit. Waiting, making leaps, adventure. You might be wanting to write like a fantasy novel, fantasy book, or just some kind of book because of the adventure, and then fantasy is written here. I am kind of getting a rebellious fantasy adventure. If that's you, go for it. And like maybe this would be like your main character. If this is you, this would be like your main character. She's more rebellious than you can imagine that you could ever be. But it's within you because you're writing about it, you're fantasizing about it. And if I am getting kind of that it's you that is envying someone, it could just be a character, but also it could be like a person, or yeah. I was going to say like a job, but someone would have the job that you would want. So you don't have to envy them. You know what I always say? You don't have to envy people because there's enough of that energy in the world to go around. You don't have to desire someone else's rebellious energy or someone else's ability to live a little bit more freely. There's enough of that to go around. You don't have to ask for it from someone else or desire it from someone else. It's within you and it's around you. So within, so without, so without, so within. Okay. So let's see, what tarot do I want to start with? Okay, we are going to start with the Fountain Tarot. Let's clarify the fantasy for Pisces, please, in October. What is this fantasy energy for Pisces, please? What is this fantasy energy? And, you know, I was getting a Chariot energy, too, when I was getting into your energy beforehand, which... it is your card, right? It's just that I was getting a Chariot energy, which is forward movement, right? And then we do have the Page of Coins here, so it does feel like there's an idea. There is something that is a brewing within you. The Empress. You know what they are saying? The Empress, she has rebelled enough that she knows how to be good. Does that make sense? Like she's pushed the limits enough that she knows, like she's in her full feminine energy. I love that little shawl she's wearing. Not little, it's quite large. It's very beautiful. I really honestly feel like you're about to write something with a female main character that is just the right amounts of rebellious. If you're not, because this is so specific, I feel like if you're not wanting to write about it, that you're wanting to be that. You're wanting to really just embrace all of your feminine power. And it's like you feel like it's a fantasy at this point, but it's not. It's reality. Because the Page of Coins is here on the bottom. It is a reality. And you don't have to be a woman to be wanting to embrace your feminine energy. Maybe you're a masculine and a masculine that has lived in like their masculine power for a long time, and you're really just wanting to figure out the feminine aspect of yourself, the feminine side of yourself. But it does feel like it's a feminine energy. And a lot of these readings I think will be this month just because I am using the literary witches and they're all women. And not saying that it can't apply to men, because it definitely can. But I am getting the feminine energy because we have the ultimate feminine energy showing up. I love this Empress card. It's so, the colors are just peaceful and serene. It feels really good. And with that Emily Bronte, the way that it was described in the book about how she wandered the hills of her, estate that she grew up in, and that was her life, I am getting that Empress there. Okay, let's get some clarification for this rebellion energy, please, for Pisces. Peroxide. Can I get some clarification energy for the rebellion energy, please, for Pisces in October? That is way too many. I'm seeing the Ace of Wands though. is the clarification for this rebellion energy for Pisces? I'm getting strongly that there is something, some feminine aspect of yourself that you have not yet embraced, that you're either starting to embrace or sorry, I got really distracted because there was a bunch of cards that fell out again. I guess it's only 5, but that is a lot. But this was one of the only cards I saw, was the Emperor. Yeah, I don't know if the rest, I don't feel like the rest of the cards are supposed to be out there. Oh, and the Hierophant's on the bottom. And so I love this. Okay. Let me. Okay. So it feels like this is the feminine energy and this is the masculine energy, because this is like the card that I saw when that big stack of cards fell out, was the Emperor. And then we have the Empress. So it's almost like two different aspects of your personality. And the Hierophant, to me, what they said was marrying the two. You have to learn how to marry the two. It's like you either live in one or the other. You don't ever embrace them at the same time. And then this specific Hierophant, he's peeking inside this column here and light is shining out. And I feel like it's the balance of these two things the answer, to balance the two things out. And these two cards could not be more different. And I did see the Ace of Wands, and I'm getting really fiery energy here because of all the red and orange. And this card is so soft, and this card is so rigid. It's like the extreme examples of masculine and feminine energy. Oh. And they're saying that this Empress is actually what is inside here. What's inside this box, these boxes. It's like the feminine energy is within the masculine energy. Like it's all together. And that is kind of how our egos work as well. Like, because the ego can be more associated with masculine energy. And that's what we wear on the outside, right? The box is on the outside. This column is on the outside. And that is kind of what we wear on the outside. But then if a person actually takes the opportunity to look inside, they'll see this aspect of us. They'll see the softness. But it's also asking you to marry the two energies, Yeah, I am also getting just like that. If it's the book, if you're the book person, if you're writing a book, yeah, maybe it could be like this epic fantasy, rebellious love story. But also, I am getting strongly, it's like, marrying the aspects of yourself, but then it can also be external people. As if you were writing a book, it could be two people that you're writing about, but then the ideas of those people can also exist like within one character. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making any sense. Let's see, I want to see what's between these two. Okay, what am I going to use? Okay, we're going to use the Rider-Waite. Whoa. healing. Oh, you guys. There's the Daughter of Wands on the bottom. So it's like healing. Four of Swords is healing. And there's something within yourself that is healing, where you're marrying your masculine and feminine. And then there's also something within someone else that is healing and marrying their masculine and feminine. And when that happens, you guys can heal and marry your energies together. It's all about marrying these masculine and feminine. So it's like you could have a masculine or feminine, like if you want to call it a twin flame, whatever you want to call it. But you could have like that type of connection with someone. I don't like to say twin flame just because there's a lot of things, like toxic things, that can be tied to this. This is not a toxic situation, I will tell you that right now. Maybe it could have been in the past, because it's like the feminine energy lived in a fantasy and the masculine energy just wanted to rebel. They probably did rebel, and it was a lot of hurt, but it's like they're both healing. And the things, it's like all of the feminine's masculine wounding or feminine wounding is being healed, as well as, it's like there's several layers to this. It's both energies are peeking inside this box for the answer. If this is you and another, I mean, I am getting that it's you and another. It's you and yourself, but it's also you and another. Oh, and the Earth Angel thing is coming back. So maybe you feel strongly that you're someone else's Earth Angel, or someone else is your Earth Angel, or vice versa, or mirrored. This is a really strong mirror thing happening here. But with this sun on the Lamb's third eye, it's telling me that you guys could have a really like spiritual astral connection, or you do with your guides. But it is coming out really strongly now that it's two people. Also, if you're the person writing a book, it could be that it's almost like you're channeling it, like you're channeling the book from another dimension. That's what it feels like, you know, like it's like you go outside of yourself when you write. Daughter of Wands. I was seeing it as like a pen almost when I was talking about writing that book. Okay, let's see. Okay, so they want me to use, I'm using the Angels of Atlantis Oracle cards for kind of like advice. So I'm going to start by pulling one for the feminine energy, and I think I'm going to get one for the masculine energy. If I have time, I'll get one for the combined energy. Oh wait, hang on. Okay, yeah, so they're wanting me to start with the well, they wrote masculine first, so I guess masculine first. What's the advice for the masculine energy, or how to heal the masculine energy? What is the advice for Pisces in October, please? It's a lot of growth, a lot of healing. You know, just be patient. And it's about, they're pointing out that cup as well, you know, filling your own cup before you can give to others, but also making sure that if you're bringing someone else into your life, that you sense that their cup is also full. That's really important, you know, because we don't want to take from them if they don't have, if their cup isn't full, because we can't fill their cup. They have to fill their own cup. And we can be there for them, but we can't do it for them. So we have to make sure that anyone that we want to have in our lives also is coming to us with their cup filled, their internal cup. Okay, so let's get advice for masculine, please. Advice for masculine, okay. Integrity. That's that kind of intention, and it's a justice energy, which we're in Libra season. So this is definitely like an October Libra energy when this is all going down, or not all going down, but it is very prominent for the Libra season, is what I'm hearing. And I feel like they are really trying to learn how to balance their masculine and feminine. They're trying to learn how to be balanced, right? Look, and evolution is on the bottom. They're evolving with integrity. Evolve with integrity. That's masculine energy. That is your advice, to evolve with integrity. So to put intention behind everything that you do. Don't just react. Don't just jump in. They're asking you to look at things. Look at things. Look at what is right or wrong. And it's not like what society deems as right or wrong. It's what your moral compass deems right or wrong. And you'll know. You will know if you're... Hang on. You'll know if you're moving with integrity or not, because if you do, you will feel good. If you don't, you will probably feel guilty or a little bad. And I'm not saying that those things, I'm not shaming anyone for living in those energies. We are all where we are, but this is calling for you. Your advice right now is to live with integrity. Okay, let's get one for the feminine energy, please. Let's get some advice for feminine energy for the October. Advice for the feminine energy for October, please. Haniel was the angel for that as well. I didn't say that. And I'm seeing the garnet as well. So your masculine could be a Capricorn. That is the Capricorn stone. Or Libra, because it's a strong Libra energy as well. Okay, what's the advice for feminine energy, please? What is the advice for the feminine energy? Or, okay, so they're also saying, like, if you're writing the book, that's going to be your masculine character is going to be strong integrity. They're going to really have a lot of integrity. That character will. Okay. What's the advice for the feminine energy, please? What's the advice for the feminine energy? Feminine energy, please. It's the feminine energy. Advice for feminine energy. Ooh. Oops. So we have Gabriel benediction. Okay, you guys, this is honestly telling me, because it looks like we all have hand chakras. I don't know what the technical term is for them, but if you have ever felt like you have a lot of energy coming out of your hands, like maybe it's something that's been subconscious, but I honestly am getting that you're supposed to be writing something, that you're going to be writing something, because of what I said earlier about how it's going to be like, if you're writing a book, it's going to be a channeled book. And I honestly feel like, because you hold a pen in your hand, and I was seeing the pen with the Daughter of Wands, and it honestly feels like you're going to be channeling something through pen and paper, and it's like a book. There's going to be something, there's like a book that you're writing. And because benediction means like source, like being connected, tapped in to the divine. And I really feel strongly with this fantasy, and maybe you've always felt like it was a fantasy, right? Because this is a fantasy card. And look at her hands, how her hands are placed on the home. It's like there's something that you have. I'm going like this with my hands. There's something that you have within your hands. There's like a story that your hands are cradling. That is supposed to be born through you, because I'm seeing all these stars, and it's almost like there's a world in her hands. Like oh look, the world was underneath the Daughter of Wands. When I picked up the Daughter of Wands to show you, I saw the world. And it's a very similar energy there. It's like you have a world within your hands, and it feels like a story. You've created a world, and maybe it's like you were always told that you couldn't live in this fantasy land, but you weren't just living in a fantasy land, you were actually creating something. And then security is on the bottom. It's like you're going to have security with it. And if you're not, because the book thing is so specific, if it's another person, if it's almost like your counterpart is being delivered to you through divine intervention. Something that you never thought could be real, you always thought it was a fantasy, is being delivered to you. Okay. Do I need to get a combined? Okay, no, that's where I'm supposed to stop. You guys, this has been a really wonderful reading. I thank you for being here. I hope it resonated. If it did, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank any of you that were present today, any of your guides that were present, any of my guides that were present, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this reading. It was very fun to be in this energy. So thank you very, very much for sharing that with me. And I'll see you soon. Bye.